Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
The Gallows. Let the show go on. It starts with a video from October 29th, 1993.
Doesn't it always?
For real. Where we see a play being put on. As it progresses, it gets to the climactic part when suddenly the boy in the noose is hung.
For real.
Like,
hung
for
real.
real.
It was supposed to be an accident.
Yeah. The theater erupts in panic as everyone realizes he has actually been hung. The video cuts out when we see a title pop up saying it is property of the Beatrice Police Department. And it is video evidence from October 28th, 2013. When it starts, it appears to be the same play as before, but now with new cast. And it is them practicing.
Or rehearsing, if you want to be.
Yeah, rehearsing.
Technical.
We find out the cameraman is named Ryan, as he is helping with the play for class. He makes fun of Reese, the lead, for trying to keep going with the play. As it is the day before the show starts, we see the cast and crew meeting with the director as they talk about the play. Later, when Reese is practicing, Ryan finds out he has a crush on the leading actress, Pfeiffer. In a last-ditch effort to convince Reese to quit the play, Ryan and his girlfriend Cassidy get him to come destroy the set so he doesn't have to be in the play. Also fucked up. Period. Like, it's messed up that A, you're going to destroy the set for any reason. Also just fucked up. Why are you doing this play?
Right. If you know someone actually died 20 years ago doing this play.
This play would never
never happen ever again.
Would not.
At night, when they reach the school, they use the broken door to get in, and they begin breaking the set, but are interrupted by Pfeiffer. As they try to leave, the broken door is somehow locked, and they can't get out. They try several doors, but none of them open. Cassidy tells Pfeiffer that they came here to destroy the set, but when they return, everything is fixed. As they're looking around to find a secret door to a back passage, they find a room with a TV, and it begins playing a news broadcast with the original accident that happened. But as Reese sees the image of the cast, he freaks out, realizing that Reese's dad was the one who called out on the fateful night of the hanging, as Charlie, the boy who was hung, was supposed to be the hangman, not the lead. For a moment, Ryan and the rest are separated, and as he is trying to get back, he hears something, but is distracted as his friends call him, bringing him back to the group.
Not gonna lie, at first it's hard to see, but in that scene, when he's distracted and he's looking up because he's recording it,
Yep.
it is 100% the janitor's body just hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler warning. Skip ahead. As the group is in a state of panic, just wanting to leave, a loud clang is heard, and Cassidy is suddenly hanging in midair. When the next we see her, there are bruises on her neck. As they desperately try to find a way to get out, Ryan antagonizes the spirit of Charlie, and he tries to climb a ladder to a vent, but is flung off and breaks his leg. Haha. Because it's break a leg.
Right, okay.
And as Reese and Pfeiffer try to find first aid, Cassidy screams as the door to the stage is locked, and Ryan can be heard, scared, from behind it. But when the door finally opens, he is nowhere to be found. And we get a scene of what happened to Ryan as he was hung by the spirit. Reese, in a last-ditch effort, tries to find a way out, but the spirit moves his phone as his father is calling. But it was a setup by the ghost, as Pfeiffer, hearing the call, leaves Cassidy alone, only to be attacked and dragged off by the ghost. The two come running back, but it is too late, as all they find of Cassidy is her shoe. Reese then remembers there's a fire alarm, and that the police would have to come if they pulled it, so they do. But not long after are they pursued by the ghost.
Bum, bum, bum. They are chased up into the rafters, where they find the old image of the cast and the bodies of Ryan and Cassidy. As they head back down, something is off, as there are no police around. But across the way, the broken door is now open to freedom. As they run across the stage to the door, Reese gets out, but Pfeiffer can be heard choking, so he goes back in for her. As the lights go up, they are forced to play their last scene together. But as Reese puts his head through the noose, Pfeiffer continues saying her lines, which freaks out Reese as he is hung by the spirit, who walks next to Pfeiffer and takes a bow. Finishing the play, as a woman is seen clapping in the audience, a police body cam is then shown entering a house that has a shrine to the Gallows play and Charlie. As Pfeiffer and her mom, Charlie's girlfriend, sit watching the tragic tape over and over, the cops are attacked by Charlie for saying his name.
The end. Alrighty. So, this movie was released June 30th, 2015. The directors are Chris Loffing and Travis Clough. Distributed by Warner Bros. And Warner Bros. Picture. I do have their budget and their box office. So their budget was $100,000.
Very low budget.
Very low budget. But understandable for the type of film that they did.
Yeah, it's found footage.
Yeah.
So.
And not highly technical. Box office, $43 million. So for what it did,
not bad.
Not bad.
That's pretty good for only having $1,000 or $100,000 budget.
Yeah. It's not bad for what they did with it.
It's also a pretty short movie, only going at an hour and 21 minutes. So not even an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But, And then its Rotten Tomato score is 15%.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
It's not a terrible movie. It really isn't.
It's definitely not my favorite, though. I've seen it once and then never again.
But it's definitely also like all the other found footage films. It's all piggybacking off of the Blair Witch Project, which we will get to at some point.
Right. And then we have our kill count, which is 6 people dead. And most of them were with rope. Like, either by hanging or just strangling in general.
Yeah.
With some rope.
Exactly.
Fun stuff.
All right. So the cast is Reese Mishler as Reese Hauser. Pfeiffer Brown as Pfeiffer Rose.
Okay.
Ryan Shoes as Ryan Shoes. And Cassidy Grifford as Cassidy Spiker. All of them are themselves.
That's great.
Every single one of them plays their own self.
That makes it
for the most part
more realistic.
Like, they all keep their names. The only person who, like, truly is himself is Ryan. But yeah. It's this movie. So there is a sequel, and we will get to it. But this movie, it's pretty good for what it is. It's not, like, show-stopping.
Oh. But
I know, yeah. But it's not bad for a found footage film. It's not like horrific.
I think Unfriended
terrible.
might be better though.
Unfriended is very good versus The Gallows. But I like the fact that at least in this movie, which I will get to when we get into the second one and talk about that one a little bit, I like that this one was with cameras.
Like found footage type.
Yes,
Yeah.
that it was actually kind of like it funny enough, when I started playing this movie, it kind of reminded me of the one that I made.
Yeah.
Because I made it their visual of like, this is police department footage, like from this night so many years later, you know what I mean? Like, so really what it was is the movie you're watching is evidence that was found at the scene. So I like that aspect of it. So you want me to go first? You go first.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. I could not find a lot for this movie because there really isn't a whole lot. Shocker. It's not a highly complicated film. Their budget was not very big, so obviously not very detailed when it comes to the special effects stuff. So, though the film is set in Loffing's hometown of Beatrice, Nebraska, all of the scenes in the theatrical version of the film were shot in Fresno, California.
Mm-hmm.
Several scenes in the first cut of the film were shot in Beatrice, but those scenes were dropped when Blumhouse Production picked up the film.
Mm-hmm. So,
along with the Veterans Memorial Auditorium and the historical Warnors Theater, crews with Tremendum Pictures shot on location at several Valley high schools, including Clovis North, Sunnyside High, and Madera High School.
Why'd they need so many locations?
Girl, I have no fucking clue.
So you could also just stick it in one town, too. You didn't need so many.
Because also, here's the thing, it's literally the majority of the plays and the majority of the movie is in one location.
Theater. Yeah.
So I don't know why either. Okay. So I have something about the night vision stuff that they were doing.
Yeah.
So technically, not fucking possible.
Right.
No current cell phone is capable of doing that.
No.
Not even slightly.
Nope.
Because night vision involves radiation on wavelengths that lie outside those of visible light. Mm-hmm. For a camera to see in total or near total dark, two things are required. An imaging sensor capable of detecting infrared radiation.
Yep.
And infrared illuminators or lights themselves. To date, there is no smartphone on the market that possesses either of those. Although there are plenty of night vision apps available for smartphones, these are nothing more than cosmetic variations on the standard camera. Mm-hmm. At their most advanced, they open up the camera's iris to such a degree that there's more digital noise than image. More often, they just apply a green tint to the existing camera image itself. And this is only for still photos. So there is no app that is known that does this with any video format.
I don't know why, though. Like, with the technology that we have, like, I feel like somebody would have created it by now.
Which is interesting because the character has a handheld camera.
Right.
So that, because it's shot both on cell phone and handheld. Mm-hmm. That's kind of your visual interpretation of the two different cameras. So the handheld, I could definitely see having night vision.
Yeah.
Because there are many that have that you can purchase to have it that way.
For sure.
Because I know I definitely was looking for night vision cameras for us. Because I know you want to go spoopy hunting.
I want to go spoopy hunting.
Hunting? She wants to go spoopy hunting. That's a very different experience.
No, I don't invite any ghosts into me.
Into you. But yeah, so but those are all handhelds. Like, it would be great. It'd be fucking great if we had night vision on our phones. Right. That'd be fucking wonderful, but that sure as shit ain't it.
One day.
One day.
Obviously one day, but we're not that advanced yet.
We are nowhere near advanced that yet. Mm. So, I will say the set design was very good. I enjoyed the set design. It really did feel like a high school, like,
atmosphere.
100%.
Yeah,
Like the theater.
As theater kids, we can attest.
100%. As a techie who worked backstage,
Yep.
as someone who was on stage and behind the stage, like it felt like it. Mm-hmm. It was a little underwhelming on their stage, but hey.
Yeah, the set was so
a little underwhelming.
Minimal, but they just wanted to highlight that.
As someone who did help out with a middle school that would do fly rigs and massive ships and massive buildings and full-size pull-out houses and all this kind of crazy shit, my expectations are way higher than what they should be.
Right. You went to an art school, so you have an even more...
Yeah. I was helping with fly rigs and stuff like that for like middle school and elementary kids.
The most complicated set that we had, I helped build, but it was our Mamma Mia set, and it was like, you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
It was so cool. For me, I don't know, because that was like the most elaborate thing we've ever done. Like, it had 2 stories and like stairs that worked and like doors that opened and actual balconies. And
I'm trying to think of like the coolest... what I would think would be the coolest. I mean, they did, I think it was when they did Murder in the Air. It might have been that one. Which is also a really dope one. It's like Clue on steroids. It's essentially like when you get to intermission, the guests that are out in the crowd can guess who they think are the killer. And so the cast at the end, when they tally all of it and they're like, ooh, this is what everybody thought was the killer, they make that person the killer.
That's
so
awesome.
Like a bunch of people all have like backup
different
monologues
lines,
and lines.
So it's kind of like
memorized.
butterfly effect, depending on what the audience chooses.
It was so much fun, but
the ending you're gonna get.
I remember it was like a 2-story situation, and they had full pathways underneath because there were like hidden bookcases and like turning stuff, and it was pretty elaborate. But they did like,
what would be evil if they took the tallies and then did the person that nobody thought it was gonna be?
That would also be pretty awesome too.
Oh gosh, because then the audience would be like, I had no idea.
But like they did, I remember for Fiddler on the Roof, they did a full-sized, like it was half a house, but it was like a doll house, so the front of it swung open. Yep. They also did half a boat cut down.
Yeah.
The middle, because it, for the Little Mermaid. Like full size. We could all climb in it. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was a wild experience. But yeah, I always love set design, and I was just like, these are plants.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a tree.
For this movie, yeah.
Also, I don't know if I put it in here or if it's just something that I agree with that I read was... I'm sorry. Number 1, like we said before, why the fuck are you going to make a play? Why the fuck are you going to do a play that someone died in? Also, too, why are you going to then do that play and install an actual trapdoor again?
Right.
Like, fake that shit. Like, just doodle on a line. Doodle a square that they stand on. Don't actually cut and manufacture a trapdoor.
Like, they literally built an actual...
Just don't.
Gallows.
Like, just don't. The last person who had a trapdoor died. Maybe don't put in a trapdoor. Real easy.
Right.
Real easy to avoid all murder death.
It looks, I'm going to be honest, it looks like they just used the exact same one.
For real.
Like, they kept that shit and
if
they just used the same one.
That's some haunted shit. That's some, like, way worse than anything else.
Like, are you kidding?
Who?
Why?
Because here's the thing.
Burn that shit.
Apparently... And I didn't notice this, and I didn't realize this until later once I found this out. But there are nooses everywhere in the school. Nooses everywhere. So whether or not they are actual nooses, the best example is one of the first ones. So when the gang is trapped backstage and being led down a dark hall to a plot point, their lights can't pierce all the way down the hall. Mm-hmm. And as they walk slowly forward, a power tube running straight down the ceiling is the only prominent shape in the frame. Mm-hmm. But the light catches on a break in the tube, giving the entire thing the appearance of a dimly lit noose awaiting the group in the distance for a split second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's little bits like that everywhere. So a lot of the time it's just shapes and clever shots. Sometimes it's rope left lying around. Sometimes it's the faint sound of a freshly used gallows creaking as the body swings.
Fucking eerie as shit.
Oh, yeah. And the gallows does this, traditional horror trick of using the background to make its terror more pervasive. But that's something no found footage movie that came before it has accomplished to anywhere near this degree, is using the background.
Yeah.
But perhaps because of this newfangled attention to background detail and effort put into the set, there's significantly less shaky cam work in this movie, which is a massive plus.
Like would be enough usual found footage.
Exactly. Like when we think, I know I haven't seen it, but I've definitely seen clips of Blair Witch, and it's like full shaky cam. You're getting the full experience. But it's like, I think that it's not a terrible film. It definitely could have been plussed up a little bit. But I think for the most part,
right,
it was pretty good. It
came out in 2015.
It's a halfway decent.
That was almost 10 years ago.
Found footage film. But yeah, that is literally everything I could find for this movie.
It's not bad.
So yeah.
I did more lore.
Oh, apologies. This is the last thing. I will say a lot of people did not think it was necessary for that last bit with the police cam footage stuff. There's a lot of people thought that was unnecessary. I mean, I get why it's in there in regards to the second movie, but
then it is necessary if it's for the second movie.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't know.
All right, go for it.
All right, so I did more research based on like the history of the Gallows, like itself.
Yeah. Good, because I would want you to save a little bit more like stuff about found footage for when we do Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Doing anything like that. I thought just because it is called the Gallows, I'm gonna drop some knowledge about
the Gallows.
So hanging was a very common method of execution in the Middle Ages, but it goes back much further.
Oh yeah.
There's a poem from around 700 BC, Homer's Odyssey.
Oh yeah.
And it mentions it then. So the gallows is a German word for pole or branch, and was the structure used to hang the condemned. The simple design was like an upside down L shape.
Yeah.
But there are other versions, such as like the T-shaped double gallows that to hang like two people at once. The gallows also serve as a gibbet.
It's also fucking hangman. It's hangman.
Literally, hangman. Hello. So
it's called a gibbet.
So that's a structure where the body is kept for public display.
Oh yeah, because these were public. Yeah. These were mass. It was like parties. People were like, "Are you going to go see the hanging today?" Like,
right? They're like, "I'm so excited to go see the hanging."
Are you going before or after tea? Like, you fucking.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna bring the kids. We're all gonna watch. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're watching someone die.
Right, literally. The early forms of hanging were just tended to kill them by asphyxiation, so like cutting off their air supply, and having the victim be strangled to death.
Yeah,
but that left the possibility of someone being revived after being executed in some cases, because you can just give them CPR and they're back up. So the trapdoor drop was only introduced in 1866, and then the long drop of 1872 moved the cause of death to a broken neck.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Literally, instead of suffocating, it was snap your neck.
It was also something called cervical or hangman's fracture, where further victims were only spared if the gallows malfunctioned. So there was one man named John Lee, or John Babacombe Lee, and he was accused of murder, and he experienced 3 failed hangings.
Oh, fuck.
3 failed hangings before he was just sentenced to life in prison. Right.
It's like, at this point we just feel bad. Because you've been up there 3 times and it's not worked.
So, you know what? You're done. Just life in prison.
Life in prison.
God's looking out for you, man.
Your neck's fucked up, but hey.
Your neck is probably real fucked, but...
You're going to have a hard time sleeping from now on, but hey.
Mm-hmm. No pain meds for you, bro. That's your life sentence.
Nope. Also, it didn't exist at the time.
Right.
Not on the level that we have today, at least.
Like herbal stuff, but nothing like,
You ain't getting none of that ibuprofen.
Or naproxen or anything like that.
None of that shit.
Definitely no muscle relaxers.
Hell no. No chiropractors. Fuck that nonsense.
No. There was something called the Hand of Glory, which is a certain superstition that was attached to hangings. So it was supposedly a magical talisman that was prepared using the right hand of a hanged criminal. So, the hand was thought to attempt to continue the misdeeds of life by helping further crimes. So they would cut the hand from the body while it was still
yes
on
the criminal.
Well, of course it would still be on the criminal. They had to cut it from their body, but while they were still hanging, and then pickled.
Because this hand of destruction, instead of just emulating it and destroying it, we're gonna pickle it and keep it. Because what if?
Okay.
If you think it's so dangerous, why the fuck are you keeping it?
I'm not done. So, there were many...
Don't tell me they eat it. Please tell me they don't eat it.
So, there were many different accounts on how it was used. In some cases, the fingers were folded around a candle of human fat.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. While in others, they served as the candles themselves. So,
just gross.
Yeah. Lighting the candle or candles activated the powers of the hand, depending on the legend.
Why did the candle have to be human fat? That's just gross.
I don't know, man. It might reveal anyone awake in a residence or prevent sleeping people from being roused. The powers lasted until the flames burnt out or were doubled in blue skimmed milk. Were doused in blue skimmed milk.
Fucking gross.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry. How is it... I'm trying to think about the idea of it being a candle. The hand itself being a candle.
How would
just
you pickle
pickled.
it and then turn it into
a candle? It's just pickled.
I guess it's just on fire.
It didn't turn to fucking wax.
It's just on fire, I guess.
It just, you turned it from a hand into a fucking pickle. It's still skin.
Hold.
That's some wild shit. They just...
Oh, I did not need to see a picture. I clicked on the link. You
made the mistake.
Oh, God.
You made the cardinal mistake. Don't ever click on the link.
Yeah, so it was supposedly the carefully prepared and pickled right hand of a felon, cut off the body while still hung from the gallows, and used by burglars to send sleepers in a house into a coma from which they were unable to wake.
Because that's how that works.
Yeah. So it was used specifically by
burglars,
people who did more crime.
So criminals would be like, I'm sorry. The second you saw someone go for the body to cut off the hand, you'd be like, that's another criminal right there. That's another criminal right there. Hang that fucker too. Like,
right.
Like if it's criminals who are going to use it, obviously the ones going for it are fucking criminals. It's not the popo. Man. The popo ain't the one that are getting it and pickling it and putting it away. They would just destroy it.
So in the one version, the clenched hand is used as a candle holder as a candle holder for a candle incorporating human fat. But in another, the outstretched hand has its own fingers lit. So one is like holding it and the other is like the fingers are the candles. In this case, should one of the fingers refuse to light, it is a sign that someone in the house remains awake. So in either case, the light cannot be extinguished by water or pinching out, but only by blood or blue skimmed milk, or just going out on its own.
Also, question, I'm sorry, what if there are 6 people in the house?
Right.
What if there are more people in the house?
It's so tough for them.
Sucks to suck.
That sucks to suck. You missed one.
What if you have all 5 fingers are lit, but one person's still awake and you just don't know because you don't have 6 fingers?
Oh my God.
Do you need 2 right-handed criminal hands in order to make sure you've got a good rough value?
Maybe. I mean, if you're a burglar,
how many do you have to keep with you? You're like, I need, this house is full of 15 people. All right, I gotta have 4 hands.
That's not math, babe. It's 3 hands.
You know what? But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like it's you bring 4 hands just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, have one extra on
just
the side.
have one extra. Light a couple more hands and
you
see
never
if it
know.
does anything.
Maybe just to catch if someone else is in the house. I don't know.
You know, it's fuck it.
But
There's another criminal in the house. That's why it's not lit up.
If you're burglaring, though, like, you should know how many people are in the house before you
should
just
know how
go
many
in
people.
there.
Yes.
I guess.
I'm like, there's at least 8 people. Okay, I got to bring 2 hands with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, also, again, you're a criminal and you're having to cut these hands off of the actively hanging bodies.
Yep.
Not the post hanging bodies, the actively hanging bodies. These motherfuckers must have been wild. Just running up and just whack, gone, run.
While it was still hanging. Like, you had to probably be, like, sneaking out while before everybody was leaving to go to their late night dinners and tea with their friends. You had to be sneaking around.
Hell yeah.
That execution just
being a sneaky rat, just
waiting to, like, be a fucking...
saw off the fucking hand.
You're like a fucking goblin, like,
Just like
waddling up to the corpse and be like... Must get the hand.
Must get the hand.
Oh.
I must burgle better. Like, the fuck?
I don't know.
Is going on?
I don't know. But yeah.
Some wild ass shit.
Crazy stuff. And that's pretty much the lore of the Gallows, but I do have other stuff about, like, some famous executioners themselves.
Go for it.
The most infamous executioner was Jack Ketch.
Mm.
He operated in the 17th century, and he carried out hangings, quarterings, and beheadings until he gained a notoriety for a pair of horribly botched executions.
Quarterings is horrific.
Right.
They're alive and tied...
Yep.
Each limb to horses.
Yep.
It's fucking and it's not a fast process.
Mm-mm.
They don't make it a quick, the horses just take off. That's a slow and painful death.
Yep. Where
as your limbs are literally ripped from you. Yeah.
It's awful. It's terrible. No.
Oh yeah.
But before that, Ketch cultivated a really interesting reputation.
Mm-hmm.
He went on strike, negotiating the right to sell bits of used rope that were used in executions.
That's murderabilia.
That is
in the original state.
Form. Yeah. Although, can you technically call it murderabilia because it's execution, not a murder? How do you call executioners murderers? Is that a thing? I actually don't know.
I mean, I don't think you would just call them executioners. They would not be considered murderers.
So it would be executionabilia.
Because it's legally by the state's request.
That's what I'm saying.
Because it's even people who do the lethal injections and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Like in current, well, I don't know how many places still have like the death penalty, but they would not be considered a murderer because this is legally requested and required by the state.
So it would be
that this motherfucker die.
So it literally would be called what? Executionabilia?
Yeah.
I guess we're coming up with a brand new word.
Yeah.
Unless there's already a name for it. If so, let us know.
Yeah.
But he went on strike so that he could sell bits of used gallows rope.
Yeah.
And his name entered English slang, where a noose would be called Jack Ketch's necklace.
Oh.
Yeah. He executed hundreds of people over his 12-year time as an executioner.
Yeah.
Mostly by hanging.
Yeah.
So those considered traitors were quartered and preserved and displayed to the public. And Newgate Prison...
Wild.
Right. Just their limbs being on display, just like for everyone to see. And Newgate Prison actually named the room used to boil those body parts in pitch Jack Ketch's kitchen.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Gross. It'd be an interesting house for a Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, for sure. Jack Ketch's kitchen.
Jack Ketch's kitchen is perfect.
Ooh, you're right.
I gotta write that motherfucker down.
Write it down. Write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Write
it down. Bank it.
Though he killed hundreds, these botched executions that I was talking about definitely stuck in the public eye because all of these executions were in public.
Yeah.
For anyone to watch.
Yeah. They were literally spectacles. People would go with the intent to watch. There would be crowds. There'd be food peddlers at these events. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a fucking stadium. It's like people going to watch sports, but it's someone being hanged to death. Some wild shit.
I'm gonna warn you. This next part,
Gold star.
Gruesome.
Gold star.
It's gruesome.
Let's
All
go.
right, so
Red star. Let's go.
So, these two botched beheadings.
Ooh.
They were botched beheadings.
That's the worst.
It took, for the first one, was for Lord William Russell. And it took Ketch 4 swings to decapitate him. And it was so bad that he had to write an apology to the crowd.
Damn.
That's
4
not
whacks.
even 4 whacks.
Damn.
And that's not even the worst one. The worst one was the execution of the Duke of Monmouth. Monmouth. That's what I'm guessing. He gave Ketch 6 guineas for a clean death.
Oh, fuck.
He was like, he gave him money.
I'm giving you money to kill
me instantly.
Cleanly.
I just want to go.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh,
you don't
no.
even know. You don't even know.
Oh, no.
But he attempted the execution with a blunt axe.
What? You know better. At that point,
if you've done hundreds of killings,
you know better that you have to sharpen it every time. Fuck, artists know better than they always make sure to sharpen their shit when they need it. What the fuck?
Just wait. The first blow did so little damage that the Duke raised his head off the block to protest and be like,
fuck?
yo.
You fix that shit. What the fuck?
At 4 swings, he was still alive and convulsing.
Oh my God.
More swings and a butcher's knife were required to finish the job.
Why would you not just postpone the execution by a day or a couple of hours just to get this motherfucker's axe, sharpened?
So he took a blow in the back of the neck, basically, and looked up at him and was like, dude.
What the fuck? I paid you.
I paid you.
Be quick.
Now he's convulsing. And
after several, he's like, fuck it. You're already here. Schwunk.
Right.
What the fuck?
So the crowd nearly lynched Ketch for this.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was so gruesome and terrible.
What sweet irony that would have been.
Yeah. There's another executioner.
Mm-hmm.
This one is from the U.S.
Okay.
From here. Under the title of Monsieur de New York. So this moniker was a reference to
Mr. of New York?
Yeah. It was a reference to a dynasty of Parisian executioners.
Not surprised.
Yeah, who operated as Monsieur de Paris. De Paris.
Yeah, not surprised. Paris had a lot of executions.
Yeah. This man, there's not a lot of information about him, but a lot of people think that he spent time as a sailor, where he learned a lot about rope and pulleys and things like that. But his identity
would be where you would learn a lot of that.
Yeah, but his identity is very mysterious. Newspapers refer to him as George W. Isaacs, which may or may not have been a pseudonym.
It's kind of like your American name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But a carpenter named Joe Atkinson later claimed to be the executioner, but he may have just taken
over. Full of shit.
Yeah, he could have just taken over after the death of Isaacs. They don't know. What they do know is that the Monsieur viewed hanging as a science, acting as both engineer and executioner.
Yeah.
So he's credited with designing new forms of gallows and super eager to test those designs.
Yeah, because he's Frankenstein.
Right. And a lot of people found his enthusiasm to be very disturbing.
Well, yeah, because he's a mad scientist. That's the point.
So he combined his reputation for showmanship and spectacle. And everyone wonders, like, what outlet he would have found for this obsession if not employed as a hangman.
Murder would have been the option.
Murder.
He would have been a
Monsieur de
murderer.
New York. A
He's a
murder.
murderer. Murderer.
Murder. And then there's one little tidbit I have as well.
Because you have to be sociopathic.
You just do.
You have to be like, I don't know what remorse is.
You can't tell me that Ketch
Hell
didn't
no.
fuck those two up on purpose.
He kept going.
He kept going.
He didn't give a fuck that his weapon was blunt.
No. He probably knew.
Yeah, he didn't
He's
give a
like,
shit.
oh, you're going to pay me for clean death? Ha.
Oh, fuck you.
Right.
You're dying anyway.
You're dying anyway, and, you know, might suck.
Sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck. So there is a stone marker in London that is for something called the Tyburn tree.
Mm-hmm.
And this tree wasn't a tree at all. It was a multi-limbed gallows where public executions were carried out in front of thousands of
Wasn't
people.
it like, didn't it have like 4 arms or something? Like, more?
The tree was was triangular that could hold 24
Holy
simultaneously.
shit. Way more than my brain thought.
Yeah. And it was the site where the condemned had been executed for over 600 years.
That's wild.
So lots and lots of deaths.
Lots of dead.
You know that place is...
Haunted the F up.
Yep.
By a lot of probably not good people.
Or even people who want justice because maybe they were hanged unlawfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's in London. That'd be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah.
If we go there, we should...
Bitch, you know we gonna do the whole, like, Jack the Ripper, all that kind of shit. Like, we know. We know. Spooky shit and dark shit is our forte.
Oh, for sure. I also wanted to talk a little bit about one more thing, and it's not Gallows based, but it is something that I'm sure you know of because it's theater based, and like there are lots of curses and things
there's so many
within like theater and stuff, but like the main one, and I'm pretty sure it's the main one for pretty much everybody, is the Scottish play curse. Yeah.
Of the one, the specific name that starts with an M.
It ends with Macbeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the curse of the Scottish play.
Yeah.
So basically the curse is that if you say the name of the play within the theater space,
especially and also specifically
during
rehearsal. It's not so specific as to whether or not it does anything if the theater space isn't in active use.
Yep.
But if it is actively being like used and you say it,
yep,
you're idiot.
You're dumb. So if you go in and you say Macbeth while you're
in rehearsal
or in the stage area,
anything bad is your fault.
Yeah, that play is fucked basically.
Yeah.
Even rehearsals are fucked.
Yeah.
Just the whole situation, it's not going to be good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about that origin. So...
Do you also have the witch thing from the same play? You might have it. That's why
I do.
Okay. I didn't know if you had it or not.
So according to the folklore, Macbeth was cursed from the beginning because a coven of witches objected to Shakespeare using real incantations, so they put a curse on the play. Yeah, I do have that.
Okay, you do have it. Okay.
So... Legend has it, the play's first performance in 1606, so much disaster.
Oh, yeah.
So the actor playing Lady Macbeth, because, no women on stage, so it was a guy.
Yeah.
The actor playing Lady Macbeth died.
Yep.
Suddenly. So Shakespeare himself had to take on the part. There were other rumored mishaps, including real daggers being used in place of stage props for the murder of King Duncan, resulting in the actor's death as well.
Come the fuck on.
Right. The play has not had a lot of luck. There was a famous Astor Place riot in New York in 1849, which was caused by rivalry between American actor Edwin Forrest and English actor William Charles Macready, and that resulted in 20 deaths and over 100 injuries.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and both Forrest and Macready were playing Macbeth.
It would almost make you think maybe you should just not do this play.
Right. Oh, well, my class put it on.
Oh, my class put it on too.
Yeah, it was so funny because we all
they did a horror version of it.
That's awesome. No, we did too. It was kind of like horror,
but it was like college, so they did like a horror thing.
It was so funny because when right before Macbeth is seeing like the ghosts, we had one of our people burst through the doors and run down the aisle in a bloody sheet.
Yeah,
just screaming their head off. It was so good.
Yeah, they were wanting to do demons and dark shit and some creepy ass shit. Yeah. Never got to see it though.
Ugh. Yeah, but it was so crazy because like we were all so serious about this. Mm-hmm. We were so serious. So like if you said it, my director was even serious about it. Like if you said it, like you're out.
You're gone.
You're done.
If you say it, fuck you, bye. I don't even care if you're the lead.
Yeah, you're done.
Goodbye.
Yeah. So we were all very careful about that.
The only time his name is said is if it is in a line in the play.
But yeah. So breaking the curse, you can avoid catastrophe. So if you exit the theater, spin around 3 times, spit, curse, and then knock on the theater door to be allowed back in.
It's gonna be like spin, 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 spit, fuck.
Knock on the door. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how you do it. And I think I remember somebody had to. I feel like somebody did. And I was like, you fucking stupid.
Probably because it was too close to,
I don't know,
the final time.
Yeah. But crazy stuff. There's lots of
The other thing I was going to say, you kind of had it, but not 100%. Because of the fact that Shakespeare used actual incantations for the witches' scenes, the witch scene in the play. All future versions of the play, there are versions of it that have it, but most of those are so obscure and hard to find because now they've been edited so that there are only partial parts of the witches scene has changed drastically.
Right.
Because that's also seen as if you do the original whole scene, that it will also add to the curse. Even if you never said the name, it would fuck up the play for the rest of the run.
Yeah. Now all I'm thinking is double, double, fire burning,
boil and bubble.
Yeah.
Something wicked this way comes.
We're singers. We're singers. We're working late.
Here's the thing. Talking about like superstitions or things like that in regards to plays and stuff. I have an actual personal account of us doing something.
Oh no.
So, Murder in the Air, the one with the big everything, had the multi-levels and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know when it started, but we were all fucking around one rehearsal and all this kind of stuff, and we would, or one of the plays, we all were eating Reese's, and we all were like, being like, can you eat Reese's whole and all this kind of stuff. And somehow it turned into, before the play starts, all of the tech would go backstage and we would all take a Reese's cup and we would have to eat it whole.
Oh.
All of the tech. If anybody in the tech didn't do it, it would be a sign of bad luck.
Oh, fuck.
So we would all do it, and it was fine.
I don't think anybody would have an issue with
until we got
Reese's.
one fucking girl.
Oh, God.
Who was like, I don't like peanut butter. I was like, why are you a tech? This is going to fucking ruin everything. I shit you not. The very first time.
If you don't like peanut butter, you're not allowed to be a tech, guys.
Here's the thing. We were doing it, and it was all fine, and everybody would do it. And the first time she didn't do it and refused to do it, one of the actors slid down the stair.
Oh, shit.
That was because we had stairs that had to lead up to that second level.
Right.
And he slid across the front of the stage, like that upper part, and slid down a bit and hurt himself and like twisted his ankle and everything. And we had so many things like props having weird like situations with the props, people being injured and all that kind of stuff. And all of us looked to her and said, "It's your fault.
Yep.
You didn't eat the fucking Reese's."
Yep. I bet she ate every Reese's after that from now on.
Yeah, she did. Oh, yeah, she did.
Also, I want to clarify about like the Scottish play. Like,
we also definitely cut off that after a while because we were like, we can't do that. We can't do that because it's superstition. And if we keep doing it, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So it was
and
fine.
then you're
after
going to
that
get
point.
somebody who's allergic to peanut butter, and then all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah.
But going back to like the Scottish play thing, I do want to clarify that it's any rehearsal for any show that you are doing. It's not just
You could
Macbeth.
be doing The Little Mermaid, and if you say the name, you're going to fuck your play.
Yeah. So what I meant by like, while we were doing Macbeth, we had to be very, very careful not to say it because obviously
You're literally actively doing the fucking
so
play.
you're going to be talking about the name and like all these things. So unless
So referring to it as the Scottish play.
Yeah, that's what we had to refer to it as. Unless you're saying a line that
has his name in
has
it.
his name in it, then obviously you're fine. But other than that, no. So what I meant by the one person who did do it, we weren't doing Macbeth at the time, and that's when like I think they had to go out and do the little do the little spin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but during Macbeth was when my director was not fucking
not
with
having it. Don't fuck around.
Don't fuck around.
Don't fuck around. Don't find out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fuck around. Don't find out.
Don't fuck around and don't find out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Is that all your notes?
You know what?
What?
Some asshole during their play probably said Macbeth
You know, I wouldn't be surprised.
in the Gallows.
Wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, is that all your notes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to give you the little synopsis for the Gallows Act 2, which is an acting student hoping to make her dreams of stardom come true takes part in a viral challenge and is pursued by a malevolent spirit. All right, this movie sucked. Okay.
Tell us about it.
The first movie, The Gallows, the one that we just talked about, it is 100% in the style of found footage. This one is not. It is very much a movie, and then you get moments of like YouTube video, like them recording themselves for a YouTube video or something to that effect. I don't like how it works. Essentially, somehow, like reading the play is what activates the ghost.
Right.
Versus in the first one, it's by saying his name.
Mm-hmm. Oh, weird.
The first one is by saying his name. The second one is by actively reading
like
the play.
they were going off of that Macbeth thing, like saying its name.
Exactly.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Because it's not saying the play's name.
Right.
It's saying Charlie's name.
Yeah.
The character who died.
Mm.
And the thing is also, number 2, I'm sorry, but Charlie would never be haunting that place because why the fuck? Like, it was a tragic accident, but like there's no real reason
For him to stay.
None. Not really. Like,
Right.
the truth of the matter is you don't know the real reason why the dude called out, so you have no fucking clue. You have no real reason or real knowledge.
It's not like they meant for that to happen.
No. But it's also, so the second movie follows this girl.
It could also be a thing where it's like how we've talked about before, how negative
energies
create things like
Yeah.
that. So it might not just be his spirit. It could just be all the people that,
Yeah.
have made like, and the event itself and like all the people surrounding it and like all of their sadness and stuff and their emotions bringing something negative in. So
this movie, it focuses on a girl called Anna Rue.
Interesting name.
When we first meet her, she's moving in with her sister, Lisa Rue. Her sister is, I guess, going to fashion school.
Oh, I
and
thought
she's
you
doing
meant
her
Anna Rue is in one full name. Like her first name.
Her first name is Anna or Anna, and then Rue is her last name.
I got you now.
But she's moving in with her sister, Lisa, who's a fashion student, and she's like doing her final, like, it's her thesis work, essentially. And what's weird is that they point out for some reason there's like this statue of this creature thingy that sits on Lisa's, like one of Lisa's tables, I guess, that's like, oh, it wards off evil spirits. And then later in the movie, once I guess she watches a video because on the internet, she's trying to become a YouTuber, a star, an influencer. She wants to become famous. But the thing is,
Who doesn't nowadays?
a mouthful of food.
Nuggies.
But the point is that she's trying to become famous on YouTube. And she finds out that all over the internet, people are doing this thing called the Charlie Challenge.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that shit. It's the all of those things. So
now, what on earth could this challenge be?
You read, because apparently there was a video or a live stream, which you see at the beginning of the movie is the live stream of these kids around a little area. The boy has opened up this, the Gallows, and it's he's reading it, and then things get scary and something gets thrown, and then you get a scene of like people being choked and all this kind of like crazy shit instantaneously happening.
Damn.
So over time,
if you see this happening, why on earth would you try it yourself?
Here's the thing. Everybody's trying it, and she finds the Gallows in her library, starts reading it
out loud. Do you have to
herself, like in her out loud? She takes it home, sits in the dark, opens it, and starts reading it.
So you're literally asking for it, and I don't care what happens to you.
And at first, it's all like she's like nothing happens, and she's like, all right, bye. And then she sees the video later, and people are like, how did you get the table to move? And it's the table moves in the video. But also in her sister's house, suddenly the statue's gone.
Ooh.
But essentially the whole thing is like she is going to school to become an actor. So she's taking acting classes. And she has this weird obsession with a movie she watched when she was a little girl about like some fantasy princess being like, oh, I'll save him, and so that blah, blah, like all this bullshit. And she really wants to do that as her performance, but what happens instead is, I guess, like the spirit of the play takes her over and she starts reciting the play, and it's so amazing to everybody that it's like that's the one, but she can't even remember doing it.
Weird.
And it's like slowly as the movie progresses, she's getting like marks around her neck, and she's becoming more sallow. She's having trouble sleeping, but she's still fucking recording videos on YouTube with the book, trying to do more of the Charlie Challenge. And she meets a guy who's like one of the jocks called Cade, and he's like into her and all this kind of stuff. And his parents, I guess, are actors, and she knew who they were, and like she was like, oh my god, and they started to have a thing, and she's starting to get scared.
Now you're starting to get scared?
She starts to get scared because she can't get away from the play no matter how hard she tries. She can't sleep. When she goes into her classes, she doesn't remember what she does in the class. She tries so hard to do this other monologue, but her body's like taken over, and she's forced to do the Gallows monologue. And eventually we get to this point where like the boy is like trying to help her, and they're like, I feel bad that all of this is going on. Like there's literally a makeout scene where she starts to, in the heat of it, saying the Gallows.
What the fuck? Okay, no, I'm done. And then it
cuts off, and apparently she's just been sitting there choking. So it was all in her mind that was happening. So right. There's some wild shit. And by the end of the movie, there's apparently some crazy shit was going on, and people started attacking them, the two of them, because they want to now sacrifice her. Because I guess that there's such a thing as called the Perfect Charlie Challenge. And it's like, how do you complete the Perfect Charlie Challenge? You must hang somebody.
Oh, God. Someone
must hang for a Perfect Charlie Challenge. So she's attacked by people who have like hoods and shit on, and she wakes up with a noose around her neck and Cade also has a noose around his neck. And as they're going to, like, she's like, sacrifice me and not him. And she's like empowered by her original thing. And he gets his thing, and she also gets, and it's a wild scene. And then all of a sudden, everybody starts taking their hoods off. So also in this movie, this girl was trying to find, Anna was trying to find someone else who was dealing with the same issue that she was, and found a girl who was live streaming she was about to kill herself.
Oh, okay.
And she comments with her and they talk, and unfortunately the ghost was there in the live stream. You could see it in the camera, and she gets attacked. But all of a sudden, when we fast forward and get to the end, after everyone's been hung, and there's this crowd of like executioners, essentially, they start taking their hoods off. It's the girl from the video. It's the boy from the beginning who died. It's a bunch of people who were supposed to have died or been friends of this girl.
Right.
It's the boy's parents.
Holy shit.
And all of a sudden, the one takes off his hood and goes over and unhooks Cade, the guy, because he was never hung.
Ah!
And he walks over to a GoPro on a tree, and he says, "I've completed the perfect Charlie challenge."
Well, shit.
And he had been, this whole time you'd thought that he was a jock, and he's like, I don't really want to do the acting stuff. In reality, that's exactly what he was doing.
Right.
But it's like he literally, and not to get too crazy, but in this, her sister gets murdered. In this movie, her sister gets murdered.
Yeah.
And it's a wild experience. It's a lot. It's not a great movie, but it's an interesting one to watch.
I might miss.
Yeah.
It.
It's a if you really want to know, I mean, watch it. It has absolutely nothing to do with the first one. Other than like seeing, I think, like the body cam footage at one point. But that's it. It's not a great movie. That's a good skip.
Which brings me to
1 star.
One star.
1 star. Go for it.
That's all I could be bothered with.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Just back from watching The Gallows, and I have to say, it is the winner. In all my days of going to see the movies, I have yet to see anything as bad as that. And believe me, I've seen some turkeys.
Yeah.
I realize we are all entitled to our opinions, but honestly, how could anyone give this steaming pile of manure a 10? It beggars belief. I have one of those unlimited cards. It's a UK thing where you can see as many movies as you would like for a monthly fee, which is incredible.
Yeah.
If I had not had the unlimited card, I would have asked for my money back. Let me say that I do not like the unseen footage type of movie, and this one was no different. Well, if you don't like it, then why would you watch it? If you know you don't like that type of movie.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a horror film. There was absolutely nothing scary about it. It consisted of a bunch of kids running around in the dark screaming. The narrator's use of dude and awesome clearly indicated that it was aimed at 14-year-olds.
I mean, yeah, they're high schoolers. So guess what age they would be?
Joke's on you. I was 13 when I watched this. The script was dreadful, and a monkey with a typewriter could have made a better job. The site has lost all credibility, and I personally believe that most of the 10s are inserted by people in the employ of the filmmakers. If you are not employed by the filmmakers, please seek medical advice. I will say, this only had about 200 reviews on it, and 50 of them were 1 stars.
I'm not surprised.
Over 50 of them.
If I were to give it like a percentage, it'd be somewhere between probably 40 and 50%. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Mm-hmm. Like, it's an okay movie to watch.
I'm going to say 30.
You know what I mean?
That's me. 30 to 40.
Like, it's okay. It's not groundbreaking on like too much of a level.
Yeah. No, but I am glad that we like it was fun talking about Shakespeare stuff.
Yeah.
And, like the
It has interesting inspiration.
yeah. What on
Mm-hmm. Yes.
new language.
Yes.
It was fun talking about, conspiracies and
Oh yeah.
and what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. Give me details.
Superstition.
Superstitions. Yes. Yes.
Talking about superstitions and stuff, and also getting into the lore of Gallows. I really like that. So
Yeah, that
even
was
if
very
the movie was
interesting.
not great, like the history and
Yeah.
things are very interesting to me. So
Hell yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed that too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next week is our Quiet Place episode.
R.I.P. headphone users.
Wrong response. How dare you? You're dead.
Oh,
Boom.
sorry.
Dead. Gone.
Sorry, let me go.
There are no waterfalls nearby.
No, there are not.
Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of Quiet Place 1 and 2. In that one, it'll be nice and exciting.
I must say, I fucking love The Quiet Place.
They're good movies. They're very good movies.
They're so good.
They're very good movies. Alrighty. You can send us an email at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. Follow us Instagram, Twitter, X at horrorunmasked. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, and YouTube at Horror Unmasked Podcast. And I think with that,
There's only one thing left to ask. Will you fear?
or will you fear not?